Banks nowadays are key players in the transition towards sustainable economies and must therefore adopt an environmental and social risk management system, ESMS. Following the advice of the Agence Française de Développement, AFD, and the Inter-American Development Bank, IDB, Anna, a banker, comes to visit Lucas, also a banker, who recently implemented an ESMS in his financial institution.
Hi, Lucas. Pleased to finally meet you.
Pleasure's mine.
So, tell me more about your experience in the design and the implementation of an ESMS.
First of all, Anna, the system must be fully integrated into your bank's regular operational and credit processes, influencing each stage of the financing decision-making.
Sure, Lucas, but in other words, how does it work?
First, the bank's senior management must define your social and environmental objectives. This can be formalized into an environmental and social policy document, for example, or an environmental and social charter.
So you mean a public document disclosed internally as well as externally?
Absolutely. You must communicate to your customers a precise definition of the standards you expect them to adhere to.
Okay, Lucas, but these projects, we'll have to analyze and evaluate them?
Of course. You will have to put in place a systematic procedure that will first identify the risks associated with each project and that, when necessary, will propose a plan to mitigate them.
In this case, it would also be great to train and support our employees to help them identify those risks, don't you think? Of course, I'm sure you planned that out too.
Indeed. Training plans to build the team's capacity and awareness is a very important aspect, as the employee's involvement is fundamental at all levels.
Same goes for the customer's cooperation, who must be well informed of the process, right?
Correct. A document will be specifically created for your customers and a procedure will also be established to keep them in the loop at each stage.
So what are the essential building blocks of an ESMS then?
First of all, the policy we are talking about serves as a reference. Then a manual of practices and procedures will be created for the employees.
I see. To involve them in the process. But what's in this manual?
Accurate definitions and tools to manage the environmental and social risks. An exclusion list of the activities your bank has decided not to finance because of their potential negative environmental and social impacts or risks. A risk classification tool.
This tool, can it determine good or bad projects?
Actually, there's no such thing as a bad project, only more or less risky ones. This tool will help you identify the riskier ones.
Should we also include a checklist to be used during the evaluation stage?
Exactly. That evaluation stage is what we commonly call a due diligence. The due diligence procedure describes in detail all the steps to identify, assess, mitigate and monitor the potential risks, as well as the verification tools associated. In addition, the manual should include clear lines of responsibility and may integrate sector-specific guidelines based on the bank's activities.
Does this document also determine the disclosure policy?
Absolutely. With it, the bank should be able to disclose information on the risks that were identified and the mitigation plans that were agreed upon, at least to the stakeholders in the project and to those who may be affected. Finally, we must set up a monitoring system.
A clever idea to follow day by day the risks of our portfolio.
Indeed, and also to establish the bank's annual report on its environmental and social risks management.
Thank you, Lucas. With these amazing tools, and thanks to your expert advice, our bank will have a smooth implementation of the ESMS.